Namaste, everyone. Hello, all beautiful souls around the world. Welcome in here to this channel where we will explore our inner worlds and all of our gifts that can be many and very different. So, in this channel, I provide divination for advancing yourself, but mostly this channel is dimensions of love. And in love, we have different dimensions, different understandings of love, and different way of seeing not just ourselves, but also the world, because the world is a reflection of our inner world. So, how is our inner world? Who's put everything in there? Was it a choice that we chose, or was this collectively? And if you are intuitive and an empath, you've probably have had this experience that the external world has always affected your energy in such a way where it's completely changed who you truly are. So it is a place of finding back to who you are in the beginning, before other energies entered and deluded you to become less of the taste that you actually are, because you taste wonderful. So whenever this message is reaching you, you know that it is timeless and we're all one and the same. And no matter where you are in this layer of understanding, just know that you're never judged for who you are or what you feel that you are, as long as you live in your truth. That is what we want to spread in this channel, is one truth can be so different from another truth. And with that, there is a movie from Via Play. It's an original from them where they filmed a woman. This movie is called HILMA. I'll put it right up here so that you can see it. And if you like this kind of content, or how we are delivering messages of expansion within yourself, please like, comment, and also share it with someone that you feel will benefit of this information. So this movie of Hilma is a true based movie, and because right now our current location is Sweden, Gothenburg, the second big city in Sweden, and we are at the coast where it actually blows a lot of wind. And if you thought that London was raining, welcome to Little London here in Gothenburg, where it is actually raining so much more. So embrace yourselves. Why I've chosen this movie Hilma to talk about this, it's because I felt drawn by spirit from the beginning. I had no clue about this woman and what she even was about. So let me bring you back to the story of how it begins. And because I'm here in this north, so mine is well just let everyone experience a little part of the north, and that we all have within our countries stars that are amazing and that should be acknowledged for their growth, their spiritual growth, but they're never spoken about. So we should share more of that information just to expand people's consciousness. Not that that is possible to expand someone's consciousness, but to just more brighten the horizon of understanding the whole picture as one. So this was the book I felt drawn to. This is how it looked. It was a children's book. I have 2 children, by the way. And this is the book. It looks like this. And I'm not sponsored in any way as I'm doing this. This was what I was guided. So sometimes when I go to the library or I'm looking at something, I can feel this intense feeling of a pull to go somewhere and look at it. And I just took this book and I didn't understand why. And it was just sitting there and nobody really read it. So I started reading it out loud because I do that when the kids are not reading the books that I bring them. So I started reading this, and this fascinating woman here from Sweden was painting these. She has a long story, but she comes from scientist background, and she decides. I'm just giving you this backstory, and she decides to expand her horizons, and she becomes this very known painter because she paints nature and flowers, and she's very good at it. But then something happens in her life. She finds this beautiful group of women, and you will see this all in the movie. So it's it's a very good movie, very good directed, and just very incredible. And this group started to doing this seance and try to connect with the divine, with the deeper meaning, with the more spiritual part. And they came very far because she started to get her downloads on how she saw it, and she started painting these amazing pictures. And these are this one's my favorite. I feel like it's like the yin and yang, and it's just swan is representing of watery energy and just majestic. I just love that picture. I don't know what you guys think, were you feeling drawn to, but these were some of her paintings that she felt that she got downloads from, right? Very beautiful pictures. It's quite amazing. Very beautiful art. And this woman, Hilma of Klint, I read this to my children and they love it. And why I'm so connected to it, because I was reading a lot about Rudolf Steiner. It's a German spiritual talker. Like, he has so much, you should look him up, he's amazing. But he has this spiritual, as you would say it, not a church, but a holy place that you can visit. That too, I'm trying to put a picture of it here so you can see it. But he's quite, like, you will learn so much from it, from his perspective and how he sees it. And he really goes from a place of love, which is amazing. While Hilma, she goes into it more from a direction of the intellectual mind. And that's why Rudolf Steiner rejected her, because she wanted to put her art into his this chapel that he had. And he rejected her because he felt like it didn't fit in. It wasn't, because he had a different type of look into how he wanted it to build, and he wanted it to come from love and not restriction, or come from ego. But what I feel like this woman did, what I picked up in my meditation after watching, first reading this book, and then all of a sudden I see that there's a movie about this woman, and I was like, whoa, what a coincidence. Thank you, Spirit. I'm going to look at that with my children too. So this is happening spontaneously. It's nothing that I'm planning when Spirit is giving it to me like that. I'm just being guided. And what I found in my meditation was that even though that he might have rejected her, her way of interpreting it is just as right as Rudolf Steiner's way of seeing it. Because this is where I wanted you all to feel included, because we all have our different inlooks, different perspective, and we are all so different. And sometimes we can get very rigid into believing that there is only our way and this is how it is. And of course, in this time, it was so much more ego and so much more strict that it's understandable that it is like that. But as we are emerging into this new way of being and thinking, we're kind of stepping away from that old way of just it's going to be like this, like I want it, and there's nothing else. But to understand that it's good for us to stand into how we perceive our reality and the gifts that we can bring to this development, but also to see everyone else just as valuable, because she had just the same value. That was her interpretation of looking into this water and coming into this meditative state and understanding that all of her paintings that she did, that they had actually a deeper meaning. And however she was interpreting that, going through that, her sister died when she was very young, everything that she's gone through, all of that, just that in itself brings healing. And we sometimes want to see this gurus or these spiritual teachers into, we put them in a box into how they're supposed to be perceived or seen, or what they need to go through. And we're kind of forgetting that we're all masters here, and we are all finding different ways, because we're all, so in a way, we're all conditioned in so many different ways. So to uncondition this, to open up these ties that we've been just tying knots upon knots upon knots, to just open them up one by one, just to release them. You don't have to really have a certain way to do it. This works and this doesn't work. So here's what I want to tell you, whoever you are, whenever this message is reaching you, there is no right or wrong how you are perceiving something or how you are approaching something. Yes, this world is beautiful. Equally, it is an absolute mess and can bring horror to you just knowing what is happening. But if we take it from an approach like an artist, as we're speaking right now about this woman, Hilma of Klint, we can bring this into our realization that as an artist, you always see the beauty and the ugly, so to speak. So we see it all, and never to judge anything as this is good, this is bad, but just to see it as it is. And know that when it has served its purpose, it will no longer be. And the more we can heal as a nation, as collective, as within ourselves, within our DNA, everything in our complete structure begins with you looking inwardly. So when you start to look inwardly and you're doing whatever you feel you're called to do, whatever it is, it can be the smallest thing or the biggest thing, you will be challenged by people that are not there in understanding. But you still have to keep going. You still have to keep going. You don't have to listen to anyone of how they perceive it. Just the same way as she got rejected by this Rudolf Steiner. And she could have just stopped, not do it. And she wanted to hide away her paintings before she left her body. But she didn't. Why? Because it was something that Spirit wanted her to convey, to give the world a gift. Because every gift that is given to us creatively, whether it's a song or a piece of music or a dance, painting, whatever it is that is given to us creatively, is from the divine. It's an expression. It's there to heal. Because intellectually we can heal, but emotionally it's a big difference. It's a big difference feeling. And you can have a mental disorder and you can heal that mental disorder, but your emotions, you cannot heal them. You really have to feel them. You can avoid them. You can't. And there is no psychology or there. You have to completely rely on yourself, and how your healing journey will open will be your personal. It will be your personal, designed exactly the way it needs to be for you. So no one else can say that this works or this doesn't work. When it comes to you feeling and clearing out and healing yourself, you have to feel it all the way through. Whatever needs to arise, you have to feel it all the way through. Because there is, no, I am not like I'm not a medical doctor or anything when I tell you this, or a psychologist, but I can tell you this by having experiences, decades of having a psychologist. It doesn't help. It can't help you. It can't. This is an experience. You have to go through it yourself. See, when you go through it, it can help you. Psychology can only help you in this mental clarity. When you reach your mental clarity, that's it. You can't be helped more. Then you have to look for the answers inwardly. See, the last step will always be the step with you and spirit. Nobody else can be in that. That's your journey. And I really need you to sit with that within yourself and understand that completely, however it falls into your life or whatever you need to do. That don't ever let anything stop you of how you're expressing yourself. Express yourself. It will not be the same. It will be different because it's meant to be different. And you know it. And that's why we suppress that, because we feel it's too different. Nobody is going to understand it. But you still need to go. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it fun to know that this is happening and that you don't feel like many is backing you up? No, it's not. But you have to continue to do it because you're strong. There is something that you need to do. And sometimes we avoid our journey in life because we are afraid of the rejectments, of the laughter of another, of these persecutions. But you have to keep on going. All the great ones have always kept on going, no matter who they were and what they were. They were great because they kept going. So you need to keep going and let this be kind of an inspiration and a nudge for you to know that there's so many different people that have gone through so many different, but their stories are not being told because they were suppressed, and then we don't want to talk about those things. You know, the government, the society, everyone is just putting that on because it doesn't benefit anything. If it doesn't benefit anything money-wise, it's not worth it. But everything else is coming up now in the society. Everything is being dissolved. And these people that were suppressed, that did something beautiful, are being acknowledged. And that's beautiful. We should all be acknowledged for our originality. That is beautiful. And now when we have all of these devices at our disposal that we can use to connect with one another, please leave in the comments section below if you have anyone from your country that has a special gift of divine and their journey into where they've gone through, so that we can learn from each other's cultures and from each other's countries of how this worked. Because if we get to know one another in that level, we get to know the whole. So it's very beautiful when movies like this are made and are acknowledged so that we all can see them and that spirituality is being more openly. That's beautiful. And that it doesn't have to be a religion. It doesn't have to be enough. It can just be your connection to the divine. It doesn't have to be a middleman for you to have your connection to the divine. And everyone that truly loves you and everyone that loves creation, God, however you want to call it, will never stand in your way and ask you to go through them to reach your source. You can reach your source directly. Don't ever forget that. You are the one that can reach your source directly. So go straight to the source because that is your home. And that is where we all originated from. And stay original and put in the comments if you have anyone that comes to your mind so I can see something more of them. And I love to learn about these unique human beings that can tell their own stories. So I hope this video just ignited a spark within you to want to do something creative within yourself and to feel. It is okay to feel and to be who you are. You're accepted. So have a wonderful day. I'm sending you all love your way. And thank you for sharing this moment. Bye, everyone.